slicing the pie is a concept that is used in combat in general, in real life, and shooting games, where you isolate the amount of angles you're exposed to and you really limit the dangers to you. Hey guys, I'm Finn. I'm gonna teach you guys how to slice a pie using these educational videos from some combat training groups and Kajaak, a Valorant player who's one of the best in the world and had a really good year with Fnatic. These guys do a pretty good job of explaining it, and it's pretty cool to watch because it's something that whenever you're playing a game, you intuitively learn how to do as you get better and better, but you don't even for me, it didn't even really occur to me that people actually use this in real life and why it's good. So I took the time to find a video that explains it, and
I do is minimize what I can see. Minimize what they can see and maximize what I can see. So being able to snake my rear leg around allows me to see a little bit more depth into that room. And once I've got over on the apex, which is I'm looking there at first, and once I snake over, then I start to look on this apex right here. Once I figure out that there's nothing right there, I can kind of start to ease myself out a little bit, take a little bit of pie, real slow. The idea is to move as slow or as fast as you can process information or data that's going on inside of that room.
So some of the things like the mechanics, the actual mechanics, like you can't really trip over your feet in Val. It's not really the same, but it is the same at the same time. The concept is you're isolating angles, you're making sure you're not exposed to that much, and it's very important for actually getting favorable gunfights. Now, here's an explanation from the other instructor that's in the video.
It's a slow movement where you maximize what you can see and you minimize what you're exposed to. Some people call it min-max. So it's kind of an awkward setup, but just like he was talking about, it's no different than shooting around a barricade on the flat range. You should make your CQB movements fit how you actually train on the flat range, not the other way around. So, makes sense?
So now I'm going to go into a couple clips where Kajaak actually does this. Whether or not, I really doubt he's watched that video. Okay, I really doubt he has any professional combat training, but we go into this video, and now you're going to notice that he doesn't do this all the time, right? Because there's a time and place. And you need to do this concept, slicing the pie, when you are in an isolated gunfight. You don't really have any util, you don't have any teammates, because how you approach gunfights is going to be completely different when you have util versus when you don't. So this is strictly for taking fights without util. You don't have a teammate behind you. Usually you're not really pressed for time. You're not doing anything urgent, right? So you just need to make sure you're taking your time and assessing what is appropriate for the situation. So in this situation, Kajaak is just running in with all of his util. He just blew his ult. He's throwing his hinder into the smoke. And he's getting all this information, and because Waylay's a busted agent, he gets out for free. And, he throws up some spamming. He's not going to clear this first angle, right? And later on in the video and even the next round, you're going to see him clear this angle completely different. So he just saw two people on heaven and one person on site. So the chance of somebody being here is really low, along with Cypher already clearing that. So he's super hard tunneled on this Sova. And then this is where you really see the slicing the pie angle isolation come in, and you're going to see him bob in and out, and then a little bit further each time, a little bit further each time, until he sees somebody and he kills them, right? And the entire time he's visualizing these angles, and he's thinking about the fight that could happen. He doesn't know that there's a fight that's going to happen, but he's always prepared. And you see, if you watch it again, it's just in and out, a little bit further each time. And it's not obviously perfect. It's very hard. I mean, if you can do that perfectly, you're just going to be a robot. But because he was like fully, say if there's another person heaven or another person spawn, there's a chance he could have been killed. But you were human. Like, it's impossible to do it perfectly. And then it's really important, the point that I made earlier about how he peeks this ramp. He peeks it completely different because he doesn't really know where the jet is, and he doesn't have a teammate that just cleared the first angle for him. 1 and 2. Even though he got opt, his crosshair was on the head, he just like didn't react fast enough. I'm not sure. The next round, he goes ramp. He doesn't have a teammate with him. He hasn't used any util, so it's going to be a dry gunfight, right? 1 and 2. And he's super tunneled on this guy that's probably droning in vents. And he ends up finding a Cypher. Once he sees that, he just gets out. Back to the main point. He peeks it, clears it, he goes to the next angle. Now the next clip, he's going to do a good job of making sure he's only exposed to one angle. He's like in a situation where I think he rotated in and he goes to pick up this gun and he's kind of stuck here. But he's fine playing here because he has a teammate that is playing off of him and he's holding heaven. But even when he peeks out of this angle, he clears this first angle close first. Then he goes to the second one. And notice the little things, like he's holding headshot level for the person in the back, but then once he notices somebody's close, he adjusts his crosshair a little bit, and he's just still taking this one fight. It's really hard for the Sova to trade him because the Sova has to step literally behind this guy in a line, and it's pretty hard because he's staying undercover. Now he's in and out again. Once his teammate gets there, he's wide swinging and he's clearing, or he's aware of this person behind the box. He doesn't see anybody, but he's always aware that there's a possibility there. Now, I think seeing the wallbang clip was pretty funny because I knew that somebody's gonna be like, well, if somebody has an Odin or the wall is spammable, what do I do? And it's like, you know, you probably shouldn't peek it. This concept isn't applicable all the time, but it is good in isolated situations, right? So I thought it was pretty funny because this guy clearly thought of the same thing. And
Drywall. And that's 100% correct. We know there's going to be somebody in the comments that's like, well, what if it's drywall? And that's 100% correct, right? Bullets move through air just like they do through drywall. Even some things that we would probably consider cover may not be actual cover. So something to consider is, what is your manpower? What is your mission? And what is your environment? Environment being, what's the structure made of? How much you did.
So it's kind of funny how these concepts actually still apply in Val 2, because the situation changes if you have a breach ult, if you have a waylay ult, if you have all of your util, if you have a teammate behind you. But when you're in an isolated environment and you can take isolated gunfights, dry gunfights, and you don't have any other option, slicing the pie is really good because you are deciding how you're taking the fight. You're aware of any possibilities, and you're going to destroy anyone if you practice this enough. This is another round example where Kajaak doesn't do any of this, okay? He just straight up is swinging with his teammates, and this is not the time and place for slicing the pie, and I'll show you. No pies were sliced whatsoever, like none at all. So, and then here, same thing with B main. He's just wide swinging this guy because he has a teammate behind him. And yeah, that is slicing the pie and how you should use it in Val. Now, if you want to practice it yourself, you're just going to want to go into a custom game, and you're going to go to the options and turn on cheats, tournament mode off, you know, on, off. On is usually what I do. And then you just load up onto whatever map you want. I'm just loading Split because this is the one we just watched. And you're going to want to go to a part of the map where you don't really feel comfortable. As you're learning this topic or understanding where you're at with this topic, you're going to see how you're not taking your time to clear angles, what points you're weak at, basically. And anytime you die, you should be thinking, well, could I have isolated that angle? Should I have isolated that angle? And like, am I in the situation to be doing this? So you just load up into a map. You pick a part of the map. For this example, I'm gonna choose mid, right? So I'm visualizing this first angle. Right? I'm not going to be perfect. I haven't done this in a while, but you visualize each angle, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, right? Until you're all the way out. Then you can hard focus on this, hard focus on specific angles, and peak different angles how you want. Now, you're gonna run into issues where you're gonna run into an off angle, right? Now, an off angle, most people want to look at this, so you're gonna get caught off by somebody that is sitting here. That is sitting here holding for you, looking at this angle, right? So you're clearing this, you're gonna jump up, and then this guy is just gonna kill you and get out. You probably have experienced that already, all right? So if you want to use this in your ranked games, it's pretty good. But you just really go across the map or a part of the map, and you just practice this over and over again until you feel like you would kill anybody that is here. And if you want to add pre-fires into it and make sure your bullets are going straight, it's also very good. But yeah, that's slicing the pie. Let me know if you like this video or if you have any questions and what type of content you would like to see. Have a good day.